welcome back. We're into week 9 of my rookie season in iRacing. I'm looking at what my journey is like and just documenting how I get on. My weekly targets are a top 5 finish, and net gain is safety rating and iRating, and at the end of the season I want to be at 1500 iRating and a safety rating of 3. We're going to look at qualifying, the race, my weekly performance, and then some highlights. This week we're at Lédenon. This was a tricky track, slippery around the corners, not great on the first lap with cold tyres. I'm up against a strength of field of 1322, and yeah, it's a toughie. So let's have a look at my qualifying lap. So we're heading down into turn 1. I found this really difficult on cold tyres, and it's a gradually sort of sweeping turn into what is ultimately quite a tight left and then right kind of S-bend, and then we're downhill into a tight right handle that then goes uphill, so you can kind of hook yourself around the inside of that and give yourself a bit more speed on the exit. And then we've got another fairly tight corner, and it's quite easy to spin out there, but this particular corner here is also quite easy to spin out on. Another downhill into a high speed right turn, and down to what is usually a fairly good opportunity to overtake. Lots of ups and downs on this track, lots of ups and downs, and you can take the corners at quite a high speed, which means you've got to be really careful as they tighten up, because it's easy to spin out. And then we're on to the sort of final few corners down to the final straight. This corner is really important to get right, because it's a steep uphill from there. So if you get that corner right, you can nip the person in front of you. If you get up nice and close into that corner and then bang it up that last straight with a good exit, you stand to gain a place or two. Somehow I qualified in pole. Somehow. No idea. I'm guessing the other guys got in a pole lap and drove off the track. But let's see if we can hang on to it. So here we are on the start line. Tyres are cold. Trying to take it easy. That guy just appeared from nowhere at the inside as I was just taking a normal line through there. Having a look back on the replay, I was just driving my line and he was not. So sorry to him, but if you're going to throw it up like that up the corner on the first lap, it's going to happen. Now, I was on super cold tyres, obviously, like everyone else, but I managed to spin out here. Luckily, well, I say luckily, I was very careful there to not drive back out onto the track, onto the racing line, so I kept it tight and got back onto the track without too much of a delay. Going to struggle now though, so I've managed to absolutely not hold on to pole position, and within a few corners I'm back down the field quite a few places. Went wide into this corner, got taken on the inside, and someone had spun out. So that was a bit of a risky one. Fortunately, the guy up ahead of me managed to avoid the crash and was enough ahead of me for it not to be a problem. He swerved around him, so we're all good. Both of us made it through, and now we can get on with having a good race. Coming up on the start of lap 2, trying to catch the guy in front there. I wasn't expecting much from this. It's a tough ask for me. I'm only 3 months into sim racing, one of the kind of things that I'm finding difficult now is that I'm being thrown into, because I've done okay. I've generally gained iRating on average. So my iRating's higher than when it started, but it means I'm being matched up against better drivers, and I'm starting to find that I'm getting some B and C class drivers somehow in my races as well. So these are people that have been racing a lot longer than I have. So I'm just trying to be careful to kind of learn from them and how they make their way through the field, how they approach racing against other people, and not trying not to get in their way, but also trying to be competitive and stick with them. So I'm kind of using them to help me get better. And I've got a good solid entry into that corner and a slightly better exit than the number 5 car. So rather than slipstreaming, I thought I'm just going to get on the outside. I'm fast enough up the hill to get past him, and it turned out that I managed to put quite a distance between him and me into turn 1. So now I'm chasing down these two guys in front of me. They've had a little bit of a battle, but I can see this blue Mazda in front, the dark blue Mazda, being a bit of an issue, because I'm faster in some corners, he's faster in others. Clip that corner about as much as you want to. Any more than that, it'll ping you off. So the car number 7 in front of the car in front of us, so 2 cars in front, is taking very different lines to the car number 2 in front of us, the dark blue car. Now I'm not sure what happened there. The blue car number 2 just went off, but then I've got caught up again by this car behind me. Now I tried to give him space on the inside there, but because he ran so tight, he was slow out of the corner and up the hill, so I managed to stay in front of him and get a bit of distance as well. So there's about as much distance behind me now as there is in front, which is good. I'm not sure why this track seems so slippery, because even on warm tyres, when you're into the race and you've done a few laps, it's still easy to oversteer on the exit of a corner. You see a lot of people did it. I had 2 races this week, and an awful lot of people were spinning out on the corners at the crest of that hill. So I'm wondering if it's something to do with the elevation and the fact that maybe the car gets a little bit light as you come off the apex of the corner. Maybe it just lifts it up a little bit more than you're expecting. There's a bit of an up, and then it goes down again. You can see it out of the corner. A lot of people spun on the corner. But for now, I'm just trying to keep it steady and solid. Trying to catch up car number 7 in front. Hoping that I can just stay competitive. The problem being, this car's just bumped his way up the inside of me. So I wasn't too pleased with that, to be honest. But it is what it is. This is racing. He didn't take me out, so as long as I can finish the race, we're all good. I managed to get him on this corner here, but I couldn't make it stick. And he had a better line coming out of there. Now I think I could have made that corner. I braked where I normally brake at the speed I normally hit before that corner, and he just braked before me. So So yeah, I had to kind of take a little bit of a minor avoiding action. That's knocked me back a little bit in terms of gap to the car in front. But I'm hoping the battle in front can slow them both down a bit and give me a half second to catch up. We'll see. So my current setup is, as I've mentioned before a couple of times, Logitech G29 that I picked up 2 or 3 years ago. That's been just sat in a box for a long while. I played it a bit when I first got to play some Assetto Corsa, which was fun. Played some Assetto Corsa Competizione, which was fun. Never did any public racing or anything. Maybe spent a few hours on each of the games, and then life kind of got in the way. I had other stuff to do, and I didn't have a dedicated space for my wheel. So having to attach it to my desk to race, and then take it all off again and put it away so that I could work. So I do a lot of work from home. Just doesn't really work. It's not conducive to easy access to racing, and eventually it just got to the point where when I did have time to do something, I just could not be bothered getting it all out and setting it all up. So over the summer this year I had a bit of a think about it, because I've been thinking about sort of getting back into the whole sim race thing and seeing if I can actually, turn it into a bit of a hobby. Because I do like motorsports, and I've always enjoyed watching races. Me and my wife used to watch a lot of Formula 1, although I've kind of gone off it in recent years. I was always enjoying watching touring cars whenever I got the chance when I was a kid. Growing up, touring cars were amazing, and especially because my parents had a Volvo V70 back in the days when the V70 was on the touring car lineup. So yeah, one of those things. I just really enjoyed watching that, and rally as well. So I've picked myself up a little wheel stand. It's one of the X-Rocker ones. It's nothing fancy. It's just an XR Gaming, I think the sub-brand is called, from X-Rocker. And it's just a wheel stand. It's got no additional stabilising struts or anything like that. It's purely just like a 2 sides of a triangle shape, with the wheelbase on the pedal platform on the floor, on the horizontal, and then angled arms up to a wheelbase platform. And I've found, because it's the Logitech G29, I found that it's really quite stable, because it's quite a low powered wheel. It's what, like 2.5 Newton meters, something like that. It's pretty low powered. I mean, I like it because I can feel the road. There's enough resistance that I feel like I'm turning something bigger than the little wheel in front of me. For now, it's precise enough for me. It's good enough, as you can see. It's not like I have any issues steering or anything like that. Yeah, I've got issues with my timing of my turning points. Quite often I'll turn in way too late. But that's a me thing, a skill thing, not a wheel thing. So I think all in all, it's the wheel's probably going to sit there for quite a long time. So the frame has probably got a bit of longevity, because I don't need anything super stable, because I haven't got anything super torquey. it's a handy frame because you can kind of tuck it under your desk, and then you can pull it out, fold it up, and put it away if you need to. But what it's meant is that I've got a small home office, and I can just stick it up in the small home office in the corner. And then when I want to race, it's all out, and the wheels attached, the pedals are attached, and everything. And I can just pull the stand out, jump on it, and have a race. And that's the setup I've had for the first few weeks of my rookie career in iRacing. And then as these things do, it kind of got me all excited about racing and all this sort of thing. So I thought, well, I'll make it into a semi-permanent setup. So I have set it up in a space in my office where I can leave it up, and I've taken the wheels off my chair and put on flat casters, so the chair just does not move when you brake. And then if I ever want to race, it's all plugged in. All I have to do is move my chair over to the frame and put my headset on, and I'm good to go. So I'm actually I'm really enjoying that setup at the moment, and I've also got a monitor attached to the wheel stand as well. It's very much a jury-rigged setup. I've got a hydraulic arm. At least I think it's hydraulic, might be pneumatic, one of the two, not entirely sure. But I've got like an adjustable arm that had a really narrow base on it. So I've attached that to the wheel sort of plate next to the wheel. So it just fits. So it means I can have a monitor as well as the wheel base on the wheel plate. I'm not sure many stands would fit, and I've been quite fortunate with the one I've got because it's pretty good. You can tighten up all the joints. So I've tightened up all the joints. I've taped up behind the monitor to keep it all steady, and it's doing me well. And as you can see, it's helping me to at least finish races and coming in reasonable positions. So we'll park up next to these guys and let's see where we were. So we finished fourth in the end, which, running from first at my skill level up against B and C class drivers, I'm happy with that. So this week I've had two races. The first race went horribly wrong. I'm qualifying well, but not a great finish. But fortunately that P4 has kept me within target, and that means my iRating is still going back up from week 8 as well. So, sorry, week 7. So, whilst it's a little bit up and down, I'm trending up at the moment on iRating, which is good. So let's check out some highlights. Thanks again for watching. You're a legend if you've stuck it out this far. I'll see you next time.